Hello my good students, welcome back to our Battlestations Pacific Remastered Let's Play of the US campaign, and we have today the first Battle of Guadalcanal, which I have played in my own time and got a bronze medal, as you can see there. Hopefully we can do a little bit better today. It is very much different to the base game actually with this mod, adding quite a lot of enemy ships. It's quite a breeze on the base game, somewhat challenging here. So we're going to go straight in. Our primary objectives are firstly to find the IJM bombardment fleet, and secondly basically to destroy them along with their flagship Nagara in particular. Secondary objective is somewhat of a difficult one, as the challenge increases as the mission progresses. Avoid losing 7 or more ships from the battle, and a hidden objective is a quick strike could save your ships. So I imagine that's destroy perhaps some sort of task force as quickly as you can, but before something else turns up perhaps. So we have a couple choices here for our upgradable ships. We could go from an Atlanta light cruiser to an Alaska heavy cruiser, and a rather heavy cruiser it is indeed, or we could go for an assortment of Fletchers. We do start with the base Fletcher, which is a very capable destroyer in its own right. We could go for an Allen M Summer if we fancy some more artillery power with the autoloaders it has. We could go for an anti-submarine warfare Fletcher, which would not particularly be very useful here. Or we could go for a Lupus, which is sacrificing guns for more torpedoes. You know what? I think we're going to do that. We're going to go for the Lupus. We're going to go for a wild card here. Otherwise I'd have said go for an Alaska, but with the Lupus here I want to try that out. I think it'll be okay with the Atlanta to take on heavy cruisers and such. The Lupus will be for flooding the water with torpedoes, and that's what we're going to rely on here, I think. So let's get into it and see how we go.
Sir, the fleet is maintaining 20 knots, sealing and visibility unlimited, and there's no sign of the enemy.
So we wait. Where are they, though?
Intelligence is earmarked tonight for the attack.
Then it's only a matter of time before we get to spring our little surprise on them. Finish her off and join forces with the USS San Francisco.
Got that, sir.
Sir, enemy Vanguard ships ahead.
Good. Hit them hard before the rest of their fleet arrives.
Okay, so we're going to join the fight straight away and try and destroy the Samidare Fubuki class destroyer here with our USS Portland, which is in fact actually not the Indianapolis or Portland style cruiser, because that says not modelled into the game. It is in fact a Northampton, but not to worry, a very capable ship it is indeed. Did we lose a magazine or something? It sounded like something exploded rather nastily near us there. Quite likely some stray shots. Let's hope that is just the case there. It does seem to be going at a very, very slow speed there, the Samidare, but we are leading just a little too high there, too vertically there. We are getting some massive hits there on its engine, which will mean it is slowing to a near stop there. It is turning away now, so we should start to aim a little bit higher. A couple more shots will do it, and there indeed we go. So what do we have now? We're going to try and bring our ships out and try to consolidate our forces. I think we're going to come up and encircle this group over here, I think, with our San Francisco and our Atlanta over there. The Atlanta, of course, does also have some torpedo power, some minor torpedoes, 4 on each side, which is actually rather nice to have. The Alaska, if we chose that, would not have that. We would be relying on heavier artillery power, and the fact that we do already have a couple of heavy cruisers, I think would be absolutely fine without that. So just trying to get into the range of the Udachi now, and indeed we are. We can lead in front, because of course it is coming to us, it is approaching us like that. So it is making some evasive manoeuvres there, so those first few shots will miss completely, just straddling the ship there, and it does appear that our follow-up shots will do just the same. We did get a hit perhaps on the engine there though, which is very, very nice indeed. and it is of course evading those further shots, but not too well. We are getting some hits very nicely on the fuel there. That is some nice damage over time to get on there, and that will burn down over time. Very, very nice for us. If we could get a hit onto the engine or two, that would be nice like coconut rice though. If we could stop that in its tracks and then go for a full broadside and obliterate it. But
Sir, enemy vessel
a new
bearing
threat.
350, heading right for us.
Any specifics?
We're trying to identify it. It's big though.
How big?
Oh no. It's a battleship.
Damn it. Well, let's give it the welcome it deserves.
well, shit. Very, very bad news indeed there with the 2 Congo-class battleships. Oh, and some torpedoes in the water. Did not see that, so we're going to take one definitely there. We're going to put our damage control straight onto the pumps there. A minor hit there. Could have been a lot worse if we took a couple. Should have spotted those a lot earlier. We're going to bring this group in very quickly then. And we're going to go over here. This group is going to try and take on the battleships. It's certainly going to try and take on the battleships. But we are going to first change our formation settings. And we're going to put the destroyers, I think, if it lets us, like this. We're going to try and put them all on one side.
Sir.
All vessels, hold formation.
Enemy ship in visual, sir.
It does appear we have a another cruiser task force on the way there. We're going to try, like I said, put all of the destroyers onto one side there, or at least so we can get all of our torpedoes off fairly easily. Did I see some sort of flooding coming out there? Does appear we're taking some shots already from the battleships. That is not good news at all. We're going to start firing some emergency torpedoes from the Sullivans over here, just because it is going to go down fairly shortly by the looks of it. And look at all the torpedoes we can put out here. That is absolutely amazing work. Let's just hope they have the range for it. Absolutely brilliant there. We're going to try and cross the T here with our ships and then tell them to destroy the Harasme over there. Looking fairly decent onto the battleships there though with our torpedoes.
Sir,
Let's just, like I say, hope they have the range. We're actually going to take control manually of the loopers here and try and get into range here.
Enough, First Lieutenant. Tell me when
And
you're
we're
sure.
going to launch some preemptive torpedoes there because they are approaching us, as
It
like
is
we
the
said
Japanese
earlier.
flagship, I'm sure.
And they are taking evasive maneuvers. Does look like those torpedoes we fired earlier are going to miss. Although we have got a couple hits there. That was very nice indeed. Very, very happy for that. We're going to spread out just a few more torpedoes there. And that will be very, very nice indeed. We fired with the Sullivans earlier, so let's take the walk. Struck into speed there. We're getting a magazine explosion onto the Hiei, which is absolutely brilliant. We're going to fire some more torpedoes from this angle because it was quite a tight angle previously, and we are getting a couple more hits there, and that is absolutely ideal. Very, very happy we took this destroyer. And that Hiei is already retreating. That is brilliant stuff. I think we missed the secondary with the Krishma. I did not realise that we had to do the Krishma first. Otherwise we would have targeted that differently, but it does appear the guns are still active, so we are going to have to strike that to completion, but we cannot focus fire on that just yet. We do have a major task force to deal with over here, and we're going to fire off some torpedoes once again. Just completely flood the area with torpedoes. There should be more torpedoes in water. Far more torpedoes than anything else. Our engine is out again though, and that is extremely bad news. We are now a sitting duck right in front of the Mogami. We are going to switch to San Francisco, full broadside onto the Mogami here once we have reloaded. Of course, just waiting on that. So we're going to turn out so we can get our back guns firing. We have an immediate magazine explosion onto the Mogami there. We're going to hit its engine then to try and make that an easier target, even though it is, of course, right in front of us. So we're going to go now for the fuel to get some damage over time. Fires, which would be absolutely brilliant. I do believe the fuel takes more damage as well. We are inoperable with our engines again. Drink every time our engine goes down. you will not make it to the end of the video, I'm afraid. It is absolutely hectic. Our magazine has just gone up ourselves, not good at all. Looks like we've got 1 or 2 hits with our torpedoes there from the loopers. That is absolutely brilliant work. So we're going to finish off this Monby now once and for all, I think. Hopefully that final salvo shall do it, but it doesn't appear so. Perhaps we hit our own Dixon ourselves there. It was just a little bit too close. We're going to fire our back turrets onto the fuel. Perhaps it will burn down to that. We have a lot to deal with here though, so we are going to tunnel vision here and there, I'm afraid. It's just too much to handle. Far too much to handle, I'm afraid. How did our torpedoes hit the Hiei, if at all, or Kishima? They did not. That is rather sad. Have they reloaded over here? They have indeed. We cannot sit idle over here if we want to make sure that our losses are controlled, because the battleships will of course annihilate this group. And the engines seem down over there, although they have come back. Should have given that more lead there. Did look dead in the water. I did not have the foresight to think about a reactivated engine there, which is absolutely a critical error we cannot afford. This one, which do exactly the same thing, the engine is down there. You can see the large stream of torpedoes there, just completely missing the Hiei. But hopefully some of these should hit, and that should be a downed battleship. We need to go straight back to the action though, because we have the same problem over here with a massive amount of destroyers and a couple light cruisers here. We're going to get so many torpedoes into the water, certainly getting our money's worth out of upgrading our ships here, but we do need to make sure we are moving because we are sitting ducks. That is the biggest problem here. We're going to absolutely annihilate the Akatsuki here. A historical moment here as the Atlanta destroys the Akatsuki, I find. Don't you dare tell me this game is historically inaccurate. But there we go, we've got some torpedo hits onto the Nagara there. We're absolutely going to obliterate that with our Atlanta. The fast reload of the 120mm guns is absolutely amazing on the Atlanta, and a very strong choice indeed, I feel. Our engine is once again down though, and we are an easy target, but I do feel it is only the Nagara here, so absolutely not to worry there. I think we can get away with that. Absolutely hectic this game, absolutely hectic. We do have fires on board, but nothing too major. We will absolutely obliterate the Nagara, I think, with this final salvo.
The enemy flagship is going down.
Is that confirmed?
Absolutely, sir. She's finished. And we've broken the Japanese formation. They're turning and retreating.
Okay, is that then? We do have some time before some reinforcements arrive. We do absolutely have to move about with these ships. We're going to bring them down south to help out. We do, of course, still have these battleships to think about. Looks like we scored some hits on the Hiei once again, but we did miss with the Kishima, and that is a problem. They are moving out, though. It doesn't look like they're too interested in fighting. I do think they're outside, probably not outside of their artillery range, actually, if we're able to get some shots on with our heavy cruiser there. But absolutely not a problem, and I think I will skip over to when the action picks up.
Enemy ship in visual, sir.
And there you have it. Vice Admiral Mikawa's 8th Fleet has arrived. It looked like 2 heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers, and some escorting destroyers. Rather horrible there. We are actually going to lie and wait for them, though, right now with the San Francisco here. We're going to try and encircle them with our Atlantas and such. We actually haven't lost a ship, to my knowledge, just yet, so there is still room for that secondary objective to actually preserve our ships, which is absolutely brilliant. However, I'm wondering if the hidden objective was actually to outright destroy one of the battleships over here. Unfortunately, we did miss the secondary to reduce the Hiei's or Kishima's. It was in fact the Kishima's health to 50%, which is unfortunate. But yeah, a bit of a panic there. They would have absolutely obliterated us. We saw the problems we had getting those torpedoes on target. But we can see, what is it, 2 Tonnes, 2 Kumas behind them, and an assortment of destroyers, mostly Fubuki classes, on their way there. They are out of range just at the moment, at 4.4 kilometers away at the moment. What we're going to do, actually, no, I think we are going to lie and wait here, so I will pop back in just a second once we are in firing range. And that time does appear to be about now. We are going to do our usual one-trick pony. Flood the water with torpedoes in the hopes that they hit something. Of course, we are going to get a few different angles off there and just hope that we hit, throw enough shit at the wall, and eventually something's bound to stick. We're going to take control of the Atlanta, and we're going to tell that to focus on, I think, the Hayashimo over there, I believe, and we're going to tell the US San Francisco to focus on the Chokai with the rest of its formation. How are our torpedoes looking? We can get a few off with the Atlanta as well, of course, so let's do that. Get them right in the middle of the formation there. We've got one hit on a destroyer over there, the Uranami, which is absolutely brilliant. I will happily take one hit from all of that. Oh, the Sperry there taking a massive beating. Massive beating indeed. Does look like the Hayashimo is standing still. Oh, not for long though. It does appear to be a Shimakaze class as well, which is rather a worry. We could see a lot of torpedoes coming our way. It looks like karma will hit us if we do let this stay alive. We have already lost the Sperry. It's heading straight in for them, of course. That's exactly what you get. So we are going to go for its engine if possible. It is now down though, which is very nice. We're going to go for the Isugumo because of that, I feel. We're going to turn around. How is the San Francisco doing on the Chokai? Let's actually get rid of the Uranami first because the torpedo brought that down to quite the wreckage there. We're going to get some full salvo out just to make sure we get some good shots on target there. This is absolutely needed because our aim is pitiful. Absolutely pitiful there. A destroyer coming up now to perhaps get some torpedoes off, but we are going to focus on the Chokai because it does have the major artillery threat there, and that is now down, so we're going to focus on the Kinigata, but it looks like our USS Hugh Purvis is looking rather bad. We're going to get a full broadside of torpedoes out before that goes down. I think we're going to focus, of course, on the Kinigata and the light cruisers behind it, which is absolutely disgusting, the amount of torpedoes we can get out. Who needs Shimikazes when you have this ship? We're going to get a absolutely lovely full broadside point blank attack onto this ship here, and a magazine detonation will finish that off. We're going to empty the remaining shells into the Kinigata for a magazine explosion and a torpedo to finish that off there. Absolutely beautiful torpedo spread there. Looks like the Tenryu is going to take not one, but perhaps 2 or 3, maybe 4 torpedoes if all of that stream hits. And indeed it does. We have lost another destroyer, unfortunately though, but not to worry. We are absolutely wrecking this formation. And that should go down to floods more than anything else. We are going to turn around and fire on the Isuzu over here, and that will leave just 2 ships left. But that is the end of the battle because we have destroyed the capital ships of that task force.
Yes, son. Yes, we did.
Excellent work there. Just a few shots out there for luck. And that was done very well, if you do ask me. Rather short video there. The battle over just as quickly as it began. I do hope you've enjoyed it. So let's see how we did. And a silver medal. Okay, interesting. I imagine that is because, yes, okay, so we avoid losing 7 or more ships from the battle. I didn't think we lost quite that many. That's awful. That's spurious. That is spurious. But we definitely missed the damage to the Klishma, which is absolutely my fault. But not to worry there. And the hidden was in fact to sink the Hiei itself within 8 to 12 minutes. And we certainly did that. We got that under our belts very quickly. So that's something to think about for a future replay perhaps. But like I say, that is all we have time for today, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's a bit sad that that finished as quickly as it began myself, in fact. But quite the hectic surface engagement indeed. So thank you very much for watching, actually. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave any feedback in the comments section below. Always very much appreciated. But in the meantime, I've been the Edified Gamer, and I hope your nights and days are auspicious. Goodbye.